Hey everyone, what's up? It's John McCarran. I'm here in Kent, Ohio, and today marks the start of a new video series I've been wanting to do for some time called Minding Your Business. The series will focus on small businesses located in Northeast Ohio. Today we're going to talk to co-owners of a coffee shop, but not just your average coffee shop. Check out State Champs.
I'm Allie.
And I'm Cassie.
And we're the co-owners of State Champs. And it's not your average coffee shop. It's a part sports coffee shop, part streetwear brand, all the things.
So we opened about 2 weeks ago. Grand opening is April 13th.
Yep. We wanted to have it, have our soft opening, get all the kinks out, get our ordering down. You don't want to run out of stuff. And then we have this big Eclipse weekend coming up in Kent. So after we get through all that, plus Final Four, we have some stuff going on with the women's tournament up in Cleveland. The following weekend, we'll be having the grand opening of our shop. When it came to opening our first location, Kent made the most sense. We wanted a town that was a college town, had a lot of diversity and just progressive thought, and Kent just made the most sense. It's a small town, but has a big town vibe to it. Cassie's a Kent State graduate, and it was just a natural fit for us to be in Kent.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's been very welcoming. The community has come in and just welcomed us, just comes in and says, we're happy to have you in Kent, welcome. And
we've been looking forward to you guys opening. We're so happy you're open.
Follow our progress, the building's progress, because you can see it being built, but also our progress through social media and stuff like that. So a lot of people have just been excited for us to come. So having that welcoming feeling has been really nice.
And people thanking us that something like this exists in Ohio and Kent. Like the fact that they're like, I never would have thought something like this would exist in my town, which is really cool to hear.
Yeah.
So the idea came about forever ago. So this is like 2009. I was in college working at Starbucks in best job because it was across the street from my apartment. And I've always loved sports my entire life. And coffee and sports always made sense to me. There's a lot of early games, there's a lot of late games, and not everyone wants to drink an alcoholic beverage while watching sports. People that have kids or families, you don't always want to take your kid to a place where there's alcohol just to watch a game. So it was an idea I kind of sat on for a while, like a sports coffee shop. And this was, 15 plus years ago. And in that whole time, no one had done it, which never made sense to me. Like, it feels like such an obvious pairing, sports and coffee. I grew up in California, and streetwear culture is a very big deal there, especially the sports culture of it. I was very lucky to be in LA during the Fairfax Hundreds, undefeated. Like, streetwear really grew, and had this moment when I was in college, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna sit on this idea. And I always had this idea to do it, and my end goal was to eventually leave tech, which is what I was doing forever. And I always told every boss I ever worked for, my 5-year plan, right? They ask you, what do you want to do in 5 years? And my goal has always been like, hey, eventually I'm not gonna work in front of a screen all day. I'm going to coach girls basketball and have a sports coffee shop. It's always been the goal. Sat on it. I've done different iterations of different things with coffee, with basketball, with sports. Never did anything with it. Met Cassie, and Cassie's basically much the why not person that you need in your corner of like, why not do this thing? It might sound scary, but why not? It could be really great. At the same time, I lost my job twice in the same year. And Cassie was like, well, let's just see what's involved with getting it up and running. Because Cassie's background is the opposite of mine.
Yeah.
I'm all design creative. Cassie is operations, logistics, the other side of the brain, and the stuff that I'm admittedly terrible at. And we balance each other out because I couldn't do this with what I know and vice versa. And she's like, let's just see. Let's look around Kent. Let's figure out what's involved. Because obviously it's very different than buying a house. But yeah, then the rest was history, right?
Mm-hmm. Our menu is very simple, and it only has 11 items on it. It kind of plays into 11 players on the pitch. So we wanted to make it really easy. It's entry level into coffee, streetwear, and sports. So if you come in, there's no long paragraphs to read. You just tell us if you want sweet, hot, ice, how you like it, and we make it personally for you, however you want it.
Yeah, so we did, 11 items, which is a nod to if you're a soccer fan or American football fan. There's 11 players on both on the field at a time for those sports. But also we wanted people to feel welcome here. We didn't want it to be overwhelming. And with coffee, sports, and streetwear, those are typically 3 things that you kind of have to be in it to get what's going on. Like if you're a sports fan, people can relate. They'll be like, they start to quiz you right away, right? You feel like you have to know everything about that team or that sport. Coffee's the same way. It can be kind of, gatekeeping in some capacities. Streetwear can be the same, like, oh, you don't know when this drop came out by this designer. we didn't want that to be the case here. We wanted people to feel welcome, and they happen to get into coffee while being here and like, hey, I'm a mocha person now because of Cassie made me this drink and I now know what it is after being at other coffee shops. That's kind of cool. Like, that's the goal. Same with streetwear. We wanted people to be able to understand, like, wait, it's exclusive. Like, something like that doesn't exist anywhere else in Ohio. So we're excited. So the cool thing too is we design everything. So from our logo to our menu to our actual physical things we have in the store, beanies, hats, hoodies, and shirts. We design them all in-house, start to finish. We even screen print everything. The cool part is I will always get an idea, and Cassie knows this. I have no shortage of ideas that I'll be like, hey, and with the internet nowadays, you can get it up on Shopify, which is what we use for our online site, pretty instantly, push it out to social media, and before you know it, you have orders coming in. And the fun part is I can do that at a whim, and then Cassie's the numbers person, and we'll break down like, okay, how are we gonna actually do this, from like how many shirts do we need, all that stuff. Especially with collaborations, we've been really lucky to have some really cool collaborators, but figuring out how to, like, one, you can be creative, but how do you make a profit from that? So you're not just burning money. And every good creative knows you just wanna get the thing out there. And I'm thankful to this one because she's like, well, how can we like plan it and be strategic about it and still be able to, you know, make money while doing it?
This is our first location, not our only location. We want to bring state champs to multiple areas, starting within Ohio. So multiple people have asked us to go to Columbus, Cleveland, Canton even. So we're looking for an office/streetwear area in Canton, and hopefully then move to Cleveland, Columbus, those areas, and bring what we're doing kind of across to Ohio.
Yeah, and then, you know, get the few of more of these up and running, and then the new 5-year plan is we want to open a facility. So the end goal has always been we want to have a facility that has a coffee shop in it where folks can come, work, study. There's also an indoor football field. You know, Ohio, we need a dome enclosed area for year-round sports. So it has a court, has a field, kids can have practices there, tournaments, all that stuff. Have a siblings area, because if anyone knows that has kids, there's always the sibling that has to sit and watch the practice. And just have it where it's a third space. You know, the concept of a third space doesn't really exist in the way that a lot of us grew up with. And the concept is, you know, you have work and school and then home, depending on like your age. And having somewhere that you can be where you feel safe and you're like, I feel included here, that's the goal. So that's the plan, eventually have something big enough to host events, activities. Folks can do homework, study, tournaments, and then kind of go from there.
All right, everyone, so thanks for tuning in, and a special thanks to Cass and Allie for being on the show today. Make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and check out their online store. And if you're in the Canton area or you live here, be sure to stop by and check out State Champs. All right, thanks for watching.